Hey guys, long time no see. I haven't posted in a year. I know. Thank you. Okay, quiet down now. Quiet down. Thank you. Thank you for laughing. You can expect a lot of other brilliant and hysterical jokes in this video. And for this video, we're going to be doing a tier ranking of all the books I read in 2023. I read 203 books, and I thought I downloaded them all, but looking at what I have here, this does not look like 203 books. Or is it? I don't know. I can't tell. But let's just go with it, because it's enough to... We can make do with this. We can make do with what we have here and make a video out of it. Let's look at the tiers. So the first one I have is, if I had to choose between my life and this book, I'd choose the book. This is the best of the best. Obviously, I would not give up my life for any old book. Okay, this is my favorites ever. I would die for these books. They mean the world to me. That's what goes here. There's only going to be a few, because I would not just give up my life for anything and anyone and anything. Next here, I loved it, but I wouldn't give up my life for it. These are books that I love, but I love my life more. The next one, Sob. They made me cry, and not just pretty tears, like I was sobbing uncontrollably. I looked hideous. My face was blotchy. It was not a good look. The next one, Good, but not great. Pretty self-explanatory. I didn't love it, but I liked it. Had me laughing at the book, not with the book. I made this tier specifically for one book. As I was putting all the books in here, I was like, okay, I feel like I could put this into one of these tiers. I could put this one in here. But there was one book that I did not know where to put it, and so I made this tier specifically for that book. We'll get into that when we get there. Next one, Forgettable. I never think about this book. I forgot the plot. I forgot the characters. Didn't stick out. Wasn't memorable. Didn't impact me in any way. Next one, Put Me to Sleep. It was boring. I finished it, but I wish I hadn't is the next one, because either the ending was not satisfying to me or the whole book was kind of unsatisfying and I kind of wasted my time with it. I should have DNF'd when I had the chance. And the last one, DNF. These are the books I could not get through for whatever reason. Okay, so that's what we have here. And these, I think, are organized in alphabetical order. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay, the first one, A Clash of Klings by George R.R. Martin. This one, I've talked about how this series is just not for me. Put Me to Sleep. Honestly, I know this is a very beloved series, and I'm sorry, but this series is not for me. It's way too long. I get so bored. King. This one was good, but not great. I had a good time with it, but the love interest was a little bland. I expected a little more personality from him, so it's not great. But I did enjoy myself. And Game of Thrones, I feel like this one is better than the other books in the series because it was the first and I was like excited to start something new, but then the more I read of this series, the less I liked it. So this one can go in good but not great, and then the other ones are all gonna go here. This is I think I'd put that also in good but not great. It wasn't anything special, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was cute for what it was. Nothing too crazy though. It doesn't stand out as a fave. A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. This one, I finished it, but I wish I hadn't. I didn't really like the beginning. I didn't like how the heroine was infantilized, and the ending was just super fluffy and boring. Nothing was really happening. It was just a bunch of fluff. And sometimes I like fluff, sometimes I don't. I didn't in this one. It was just too cheesy. Ace of Spades, another good but not great. I like the concept, and I also love the cover, but there was a lot of plot holes that were bugging me. Because this one was also just fluff, and like I enjoyed it. I loved seeing these characters happy, but it's not like here. I did enjoy it though. A Court of Mist and Fury. This is also good but not great. I know everyone loves this book, and maybe if I reread it I would like it more, but I went into this with way too high of expectations because everyone says this is their favorite Sarah J Maas book and it's their favorite fantasy book or whatever. So I went into this expecting so much, and I was disappointed because it didn't live up to the expectations I made up in my head. But if I didn't have those expectations, that honestly might be here, because the other books in the series, most of them are here. I don't know though. I have to reread it and see. A Court of Silver Flames. We're putting something in a new tier. I love this book. I love Nesta. I love the female friendships in this. This was such a good book, and it was really repetitive, but I kind of loved it. I don't know. It just worked. A Court of Thorns and Roses. This can also, I hate that it doesn't just scroll up. This can also go here. I loved it. I loved being introduced to this world. I feel like the writing and the world, it was just really easy to get into, really easy to read. I enjoyed myself. A Court of Wings and Ruin. This is probably, I don't know if this would be my favorite in the series or if it would be A Court of Silver Flames, but I love this one too. It was very action-packed and it's so long, so I thought it would be boring, and I was kind of dreading starting it. But like every page was needed, I feel like. Addicted for Now. Okay, now we're getting to the books I love. I love Lily and Lo. I feel like all their books are gonna go in the same tier. I love these characters. I love the side characters. I love the found family. I love everything about these books. Allegiance. Okay, we're putting it on a new tier. Sobbed my freaking eyes out. No book has ever made me cry like this one. Like the last 50 pages, I was holed up in the bathroom just sobbing my eyes out uncontrollably. I could not stop. It was terrible. If you know what happens at the end, you know. If you don't, pray you never know, because it was horrible. 5 stars though. I loved it so much. Next, Archer's Voice. This one honestly put me to sleep. This was really cringy to me. I didn't like the dialogue. It was just super cheesy. I didn't love it. I know everyone loves it, but Never After. I think I'm gonna put that in. I loved it, but I wouldn't give up my life for it. It was a good time. I like Jax, and the end of this book was so good. I want a man to sob uncontrollably over me too. That scene rent free in my head. Oh, this is one of the short stories from Better Than the Movies. Every one of these short stories is gonna go in I love it, but I wouldn't give up my life for it. I wouldn't give up my life for such a short little thing, but I love these books. They're so fun, so entertaining, so cute, and they're all, well, most of them are in Wes's perspective, with sometimes a little bit of Liz's. They're lovely. I love them. I wouldn't die for them though, but I love them. And let's just do Better Than the Prom too, since we're here talking about Wes and Liz. I love all their books. I cannot get enough of them, and the more Lynn Painter writes them, the more I love them, and I'm gonna read up too. Let's just get all of Lynn Painter's books out of here. This one I actually liked better than the movies, which shocked me, because Better Than the Movies, it like took me a couple chapters to really fall in love. Betting on You, I was in love in the first chapter. Through the whole book, I loved it start to finish. It was amazing, so funny, had me laughing out loud. I was at Disaster by Jamie McGuire. DNF. I hated that book. Truly one of the worst books I've ever read. I'm sorry, but it was not good to me. I guess I can see how some people might like it. You can tell that it's an older book based on how it's written and like some of the language that's used and stuff, and I think that's why I hate that language that used to be used, like the slut shaming and stuff. I hate it. I couldn't get past it. I didn't like the hero. Didn't really like the heroine. I didn't like anything. So I just DNF'd because I was not going to waste my time with it anymore. I could tell that I was just going to hate it the whole time. And I wasn't in the mood to hate read. Believe Me, this is the last novella in the Shatter Me series. I would put it in good but not great. It didn't really stand out to me, but it was good. Don't really have much to say about it. Bless Me Ultima, this book isn't for me, but it's not a bad book. So I would put it in good but not great. It's just not my thing really, but I did like the moral dilemmas that were explored. I think it was a good book. Blood by D.S. Wright. I found this book because I was digging through the internet trying to find a book or series similar to the Mind Freak series by S.C. Abbey. That's one of my favorite series ever. And I wanted a book with similar vibes. And this one is also about a serial killer FMC. So I read it. Unfortunately, it was not as good, but it wasn't terrible. I don't know where to put it, because I could put it here, but also I feel like it's not as good as what's here. And you know what? I feel like I'm gonna put it and I finished it, but I wish I hadn't, because the ending was not. The ending was not very satisfying at all. I wanted something very different in the conclusion, and we didn't get that. Book lovers, okay. Finally, something up here. I would die for this book. I would die for Charlie Lastra and Nora. I love them. I love their banter, and I especially love Charlie. The way he was always there for her. I'm just obsessed with him and the book. Bound by Honor by Cora Riley. I'm gonna put this in good but not great. It doesn't really stand out to me interested in continuing the series though. Maybe, possibly. I remember there are two characters, I think Gianna and Mattia were their names. I was obsessed with them and I want to read their book, but like I'm not interested in any of the other characters. And I don't know if you can read them as standalones or if you have to read the whole series, but I want to read their book. Bring Me Your Midnight by Rachel Griffin. This was good but not great. There was some boring. Brutal Intentions by Lilith Vincent. I should have made a tier that just says jail. This is about a stepfather and stepdaughter. Very taboo. I'm gonna put that in had me laughing at the book, not with the book, because there was this one scene where he goes to beat up these guys who are bothering the FMC, and he ends up running away. And these are like teenage boys, and he ends up running away from them. I couldn't take him seriously after that. Bully by Penelope Douglas. This one, I finished it, but I wish I hadn't. I did. Oops. Oh my goodness. Don't print. I did not like this. I didn't like the romance, didn't like the FMC, didn't like the MOC. Nothing about this worked for me. I didn't like all the I'm not like other girls crap. I didn't like the slut shaming. I just didn't like it. Burn for You by JT Gessinger. I DNF'd this one. The writing, I could not get past it. It was in the portrayal of black people was very stereotypical and couldn't get on board with that. Burn by Lisa Carlisle. I think I'm gonna put that in. I loved it, but I wouldn't give up my life for it. It was actually really fun, super underrated. Don't judge it by the cover, please, because it's actually a really fun time, and I enjoyed it a lot. It's enemies to lovers, it's assassin and target. Loads of fun. Loved it. Caraval. Oh my gosh, this is another one. This is another one that I loved. This book is so magical and whimsical, and I had such a fun time with it. I love Julian. The banter was so fun. It's opposites tracked. It was just such a good time. I adored it. Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. This is my favorite book in the Hunger Games. Obviously, any book that introduced us to Finnick would end up on this tier. Also, the arena was so cool in this one. I loved it. Caught Up by Liz Tomford. This was good but not great. It was way too long, a little too repetitive, and I just wasn't as into the characters as I was the characters in the other books in this series. So it didn't land as much as I wanted it to, but it was still good and I liked it. And the scenes with Kai, who's like the baby, toddler or whatever, adorable. Loved it. Christmas Eve at Friday Harbor. I'm gonna put this in good but not great. It was good. Not it too much, but it was a fun time. Also, I read this in like January, so that's probably why I'm not thinking about it as much. I wouldn't put it in forgettable because I still remember a lot of the tropes and the stuff I like about it. But for now, I'm also gonna put in good but not great. It was fun. I just wanted a little more passion, a little more angst. I don't know. I just wanted more from the romance. Cinder. This one I'm gonna put in good but not great. I know I originally gave this 5 stars and I talked about it in my wrap up and I was really hyping it up, but I feel like that's just because the ending was really good and the ending was like a 5-star ending for me, but the rest of the book honestly was a 4. I ended up changing my Goodreads rating to a 4. I haven't said that on the channel yet. This is my official rating, 4 stars. I feel like if it was truly a 5-star, I would have been more interested in continuing the series, and I still haven't read the second book even though I read the first one months ago. I'm like having to force myself to want to read it, and I feel like if it was a truly a 5-star, I would want to continue on. The Bones. I don't know where to put this one. I think I'm gonna put it in good but not great. No. Should I put it had me laughing at the book, not with the book? I don't know. I don't know where to put this one because I feel like it's not as good as these. I didn't really like it. I thought it was really unoriginal. Bad. It didn't put me to sleep. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna put it and I finished it, but I wish I hadn't because the ending, the conclusion was not satisfying at all. Nothing shocked me. I predicted like every plot twist, and the one plot twist I didn't predict was a little odd. If you know, you know. I'm gonna put it here. I think I'm gonna continue with the series just because I'm curious, because it's such a hyped up series. I feel like it can only go up here from here, but I'm not. I don't know. We'll see. Coming Up Roses. I'm gonna put that in good but not great. I had a good time while reading it, but it wasn't anything super crazy fantastic. Crescendo. I can't remember if this is the second book in the series or the third. I think no, it's the second, I believe. Okay, I'd put this in good but not great. I liked it, but not as much as the first book in the series. Which let me find that. Let me just get that whole series done with now. Okay. Oh, that's the third book. Where's Hush Hush? Oh, there it is. Okay. This one I would put in loved it, but I wouldn't give up my life for it. This one was great. I liked the banter. I liked being introduced to the world. It was like exciting and fun, and I liked the plot twist. I really liked the first one, and then it just went down from there. And this one was a 5-star. This one was a 4-star. There was a lot of other woman drama, and I didn't like what they were doing with Nora and Patch, were the main couple. So I gave that one 4 stars. It was good, not great. I still liked it, but I was not in love with it. And then the third book, Silence. This one was worse than both of them. Because by this one I was just kind of over it. Where did I put this one? Put me to sleep, because a lot of what happened in this book, a lot of what we learned was stuff we already learned in these 2 books. But there was a storyline that happened where we had to relearn it, and it was really annoying, and I feel like kind of tedious because we already knew all of that information. The first 200 pages are us just revisiting stuff we already know, so it was really boring. I'm reading the 4th book right now, and I'm honestly not too into it. I'm ready for the series to be over because with every single one, it just got worse, and now I'm just done with it. I don't want to read anymore, but I need to finish. I can't just leave it at the last book, you know? A Curse for True Love. This one, I loved it, honestly. I know a lot of people are saying they're disappointed with it, but I loved it. I feel like it was pretty fast paced. The writing was really easy to read. By Lisa Scottoline. Don't be fooled by this. This is not an erotica like the title would suggest. I actually have no idea what the title is about. Well, I kind of do. Like, it does talk about her family and her dad and stuff, but that is not the main plot of this book at all. This is a thriller. She like gets trapped in a prison. I don't know why that's the title. Where would I put this one? Good but not great. None of the crazy, but I did enjoy it. I didn't dislike it, but it was just kind of there. Daisy Jones and the Six. This one, should I put it in good but not great? Or should I put it in sad? Because sometimes the characters were so frustrating that I had to put the book down. Like, this book was not binge worthy to me, but also it did make me sob. So I'm gonna put it there. Every book that made me sob can go here, because there is something happens in this book. My favorite character. I'll never get over it. Dear Heart, I Hate You had me laughing at the book, not with the book. These characters, so melodramatic, and some of the things they say, I was literally laughing. Not with them. At them. I'm sorry. That makes me sound like a bully, but like, I couldn't believe some of the things that came out of their mouth, especially the hero's mouth. Ridiculous. Defy Me. I always forget which Shatter Me book is in what order. I know it's not the last one. I think it's the 4th or the 5th. Both good, but not great to me. Just kind of there. Kitty Carr. I'm gonna put this in I loved it, but I wouldn't give up my life for it. The story was so interesting. Like, the stuff that this character had to go through. Wild. And I was really, really interested with her story. Divergent. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. The Divergent trilogy had me in a chokehold this year. I'm obsessed. I love it so much. I can't believe it took me this long to read this mega popular series. I'm so glad I started reading it though. Love it so much. I love Triss. I love 4. I like the action. I like the romance. It was all so perfect, and I loved it so much. Divine Rivals, another one. Another fantastic, fantastic, fantastic read that I love so much. Literally so good. I love Iris. I love Roman. I haven't read the second book yet, but I really, really want to. As soon as I can get my hands on it, I'm gonna read it, because I need to know how it ends. Like, the way this book ended was so crazy. I need to know what happens next. Emergency Contact by Lauren Lane. This one was good, but not great. It was a fun time. There's a lot of bickering, and it got to a point where it got a little annoying. Like, I wanted them to actually communicate and not just bicker and argue. But it was fun. It was really fun at first. Like, the bickering was entertaining, but then at a certain point, like I said, I was like over it. Everyone Hates Kelsey Miller. This one surprised me because I've never heard anyone talking about it, but I loved it. It was actually really fun. I like the diversity. I like the hero. He's in Cheap Shots. I'm gonna put this in again. Loved it, but wouldn't give it my life for it. I loved the banter. It was a good time. Faking Under the Mistletoe, yet another one that I love wholeheartedly. This one was so fun. I love the banter. It's Grumpy Sunshine, Boss Employee. It was a really fun time. Highly recommend if you want a holiday story. Falling for Declan. I finished it, but I wish I hadn't. I really did not like the hero in this book. He was disgusting. The way he talked about women, the way he treated women. Not it. Feed. Oh my gosh, this book was so cool. One of the most unique books I've ever read. I'm gonna put it in good but not great because there were some parts where I was like really thrown off by how weird it was. But after I got into it, I was like, wait, I could like appreciate its weirdness and see how unique it was and see how cool it was and how creative. So I loved it. I liked it. Finale by Stephanie Garber. I'm gonna put this in good but not great because I just feel like compared to Caraval, like Caraval loved it so much, and then the books that came after in that trilogy I just feel like didn't live up to Caraval, but they were still good. I just didn't like, I feel like they were really insta-lovey and loved it. The mystery was really good. I like the characters. At first this one was a little slow for me, but once it got going, it was really going and I loved every second of it. Elsie Silver, another one that I love. I love Red. Also, this is a bull riding romance, and I've never read about a bull rider before, so I thought it was cool. I like sports romances that focus on sports that don't get a lot of attention, you know, something other than football or basketball. So cool how like his name is Four and his book is called Four, and then there's 4 short stories in his book. Like, I just loved the whole concept. I thought it was really fun. I liked being in his perspective. Then we have Fourth Wing. This one, good but not great. It's kind of with Cinder for me. I gave it 5 stars originally, and then after doing some reflecting, I changed it to a 4 because, like with Cinder, I feel like the ending was great. The ending, 5-star worthy, really action-packed, really great. But then the rest of the book, I was thinking about it, and I was like, that was not a 5-star to me. Like, I feel like there was a lot of info dumping, and I wasn't too attached to the characters, honestly. Glitches, another good but not great. This is one of the Cinder short stories. It was good and I thought it was interesting and I had a fun time. It was super short, but nothing too crazy. Go Hex Yourself. I love this one. Honestly, this was so entertaining, so fun. Had me laughing. I loved it. And then I also read the second book in this series. Where is it? What the Hex? This one I didn't love as much. I'm gonna put this one in good but not great because it was like the whole same tropes and I wanted something a little different. But I still enjoyed it. It was just weird. Also, the sex scenes happened at the weirdest times in this book. Like, an intruder was in the house and they start doing steamy things. I was like, guys, be so real. There's literally an intruder in your house. Like, they would die. If this was real life, they would so die. No self-preservation instincts. Okay, then we have A Good Girl's Guide to Being Bad. I'm gonna put this in good but not great. It was not anything too crazy, but it was fun and I enjoyed it. It just wasn't anything too special. Then we have Goodnight Kiss 2 and Goodnight Kiss by R.L. Stine. This had me laughing at the book, not with the book. It was, I don't even know what to say, but some of the dialogue was weird though, and I was just like making fun of it in my head. So we're gonna leave that there. Halloween Party by Agatha Christie. This one was disappointing to me. I was expecting a lot because Agatha Christie is such a popular author and everyone's like, her books are so amazing, and I do want to try another one. I feel like maybe this is like the worst she's ever written, honestly. I want to try one of the other ones she has because I know people like rave about this woman, and I know she has to have something good out there. But this one, it was marketed as a thriller, but it wasn't really thrilling. It was really slow, and I prefer more fast-paced mysteries, and also the ending was not satisfying to me at all. It wasn't shocking or anything, so I was just not impressed. I'm gonna put it in I finished it, but I wish I hadn't, because for after playlist, I'm gonna put this in good but not great. It took me a little while to get into, but like Baby Place by Emily Henry, oh, I loved it. I loved this book so much, but I wouldn't give up my life for it. Like the other Emily Henry book. This one was great though. I loved Harriet Wynn. I loved the college years, especially like the flashbacks I thought were so fun. They were so cute. and I was really rooting for this couple. And this book did make me cry. I think some people are like mad with the ending because it's not too realistic in the student loan thing, but I don't care. Like, it's fiction. I don't care about debts. Heartless by Elsie Silver. This was good but not great. Talking about other people's bodies, the heroines in particular, like a lot of the heroes just like talking about her body, and it was like really close to objectifying territory for me, and that was kind of bothering me a little bit. Hero, I finished it but I wish I hadn't. This book was so annoying to me because the FMC would try so hard with the MFC and he would just like give nothing in return until the very end when they get together, and I was just getting so frustrated, and I thought she could do better, honestly, because why is only one person really making an effort in this relationship? Home Before Dark. This is another one that okay, put me to sleep. I was gonna say I finished it but I wish I hadn't, but I'll put it in put me to sleep because nothing about this book shocked me. It's a thriller, a horror novel, but nothing was really that scary. Nothing was really that thrilling. It was pretty slow for Riley Sager standards. And also, I feel like it didn't bring anything new to the haunted house idea. Like, it was all just things I've already seen before, so it was nothing exciting, and it put me to sleep. Hopeless by Elsie Silver. This is the last book in the Chestnut Spring series, and I ate it up. I loved the banter. I loved the smut. It was a fun time. I adored it. Houseflower. This is my least favorite in the Addicted Calloway Sisters series. I'm gonna put it in good but not great. I like the individual journeys the characters went on, and I love the family. I love the side characters so much. But the relationship between Reich and Daisy, I don't care about it at all. The smut scenes were really weird, and really, they were having sex in a moving car. She was outside of the van. There were kids driving by. Like, it was just so weird to me. House of Roots and Ruin. I finished it, but I wish I hadn't. This book started off so strong. Like, I loved the gothic elements. I loved the writing. Like, it was all started so good. But then the ending was so disappointing because it didn't tie up half of the gothic elements that it introduced were not tied up well at all. Like, in The Cursed Child, I'm gonna put this in good but not great. Definitely one of the, probably the worst Harry Potter novel. Yeah, it just didn't hit the same as the other ones did, but I still had a good time, probably just because it was part of the Harry Potter universe. I feel like if it wasn't, it would probably had me laughing at the book but not with the book. But because it was Harry Potter and I was just having such a fun time revisiting those characters and being in that world again, I'm putting it here. I had a good time, even though there was this one. I love Shara, and I think the FMC's name was Chloe. I don't remember. I think it was Chloe though. I love their banter. I love the dynamic. Academic rivals lovers and enemies lovers will hit every single time. I love Shara. I love how she's like kind of an antagonist. I love anti-heroines. They're just so fun, and I eat it up every time. This one was really good. Icebreaker. I'm gonna put it in good but not great because I feel like there was a lot of unnecessary things being. Ignite me. This book, I loved it. This is by far the best in the Shadow Me series. Like, the other books have nothing on this one. I also loved Erin's novella, but I read that 2022, so we're not gonna talk about that here. I love this book so much. Like, the relationship development, Erin in this book, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. I think about this book all the time, even though I read it in January. This was amazing, but I would not give up my life for it. But it was amazing, and I would read the Shadow Me series just to get to this book. So much better than the other books in the series. Jen Burkhardy, I'm Glad My Mom Died. I would put this in, I loved it, but I wouldn't give my life for it. I put in had me laughing at the book, not with the book, because what even was this? I don't even know what was happening. Why was Juliet flirting with Warren's dad? This book was just, I did not like this at all. It's probably my least favorite of the main books in the series. I was not impressed, and I didn't like that Juliet and Erin were separated for so much of it because I was mostly reading this book for the romance and not the fantasy elements, if I'm being completely honest. In 5 years, I finished it, but I wish I hadn't. The ending made me so upset. It was open-ended, first of all. Second of all, the FMC does something in this book that makes me so mad near the end of the book. She major betrayal to her best friend, and I was just so mad. I did not like this book at all. I feel like the FMC was very selfish and she made a lot of choices that I just want to punch her in the throat for making. I was not a fan. Instant Karma, oh my gosh, this is so underrated. Mercer Meyer, why isn't anyone talking about this book? All they talk about is the Lunar Chronicles and her other series, but like this was so good too. It's a standalone, I think, or maybe it's part of a companion novel series, I'm not sure. But this was so cute, so fun, so summery. Definitely would recommend it for like June, July, August, the summer months, because it takes place in the summertime and she's working at this, like, she's taking care of sea animals, and it's like in a coastal town, like very much summery vibes. So much fun, so cute. I adored it, loved it. Insurgent, oh my goodness. Obviously, you guys know how much I love the Divergent series. I loved it. I'm so obsessed with the Divergent series. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care that there's plot holes a mile wide. That book, that whole series, so fun, so entertaining. I loved it, every second of it. Irish Rebel by Nora Roberts. This book was fantastic until the ending, when she's having an argument with her dad and the hero butts in and talks to her like a child and scolds her in front of her parents. Like, I was so embarrassed for her, and that really pissed me off. So that's why it's going in good but not great instead of I loved it. That one scene. It's Not Summer Without You. Is this the second book in the series? Or, yeah, I think it's the second one. I get confused with these titles because they're also similar. I think We'll Always Have Summer is the last one. Okay, It's Not Summer Without You is, if it's the second book, it goes in Put Me to Sleep. No, I don't know. It wouldn't put me to sleep. I just didn't like it. I don't know where to put this one. It wasn't forgettable. Didn't have me laughing. I finished it, but I wish I hadn't. No, because I'm glad I continued with the series because the last one I did like, but I don't want to put it in good but not great because it wasn't good to me. I don't know where to put it. Okay, I'm just going to put it here. Even though it didn't put me to sleep, I just didn't know where else to put it. This book made me so angry at Belly. This one was fine. It wasn't, I don't want to put it here because it wasn't that good to me. It didn't really have me laughing at the book. Put me to sleep. No. Okay, well, I'm glad I finished it because the ending was definitely better than the first half. I don't know where to put this one either. Okay, I guess I'll put it and had me laughing at the book, not with the book, because his nickname for her is traitor, even though she never betrayed him, and the whole time I was like, that makes no sense. Like, Google the definition of traitor please fan, because she'd never betrayed you, which would make her not a traitor. I don't know. I just don't know where else to put it, so it's just gonna stay there. Jock Row by Serenay. This one I like. This one was a good time, but it wasn't like this much of a good time. It was just my favorite book of the year. You guys know where it's going. It's my favorite book in the whole wide world. If I had to choose between my life and this book, I'd choose the book. In fact, this book should be like up here. There should be a whole other tier for this book. If I had to choose between the entire population's life for this book, I would choose the book. But I didn't make that tier, so it's gonna go right here. But know that this is my favorite ever. I would die for this book. Also, side note, I thought about this book multiple times today because when I was in the car, Vampire by Olivia Rodrigo came on 3 times, and every single time I hear that song, I think about this book because Rose likes to be bitten in bed like a goddamn vampire. Every single time I hear that song, I think about this book. Just thought I should let you guys know that. Then we have Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This one is good but not great. I didn't like the Insta Love. I'm gonna put it here next to Finale. But oh my goodness, this is my favorite thriller in the world. I want to read more thrillers just because this book, I'm not even a thriller girly, but I want to read more because this one was so amazing and I want to find more hidden gem thrillers like this. This was so good. The plot twist really got me. It was fast paced, lots of cliffhanger chapter endings. It was incredible. Loved it. Also, it's like gothic and I love the setting. It was perfect. Everything I want in a thriller ever. Loved it. Lord, this is another one I loved so much. It's so fast paced and the plot twist had my jaw scraping the floor. Like, one of the best plot twists in Gelato. I finished it, but I wish I hadn't. I really didn't like this book. I didn't like that she was going after a guy with a girlfriend. That bugged me a lot. I also was really bored a lot of the time. It was not a good time. Love on the Brain. Where's that? Good, but not great. This one, it was a fun time after we got past the miscommunication, but so much miscommunication in the first half that it really irritated me, and I couldn't give it 5 stars just because of that. But like after we got past the miscommunication, I loved it, and it was such a fun time. Makeup or Breakup. This one put me to sleep. It was really boring. Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I just read this, and I loved it so much. You're gonna hear more about it in my wrap up when I finally post that. This book was incredible though. Oh wait, should I put it in sob? Yeah, because it did make me sob. Such a sad book. I'm gonna talk more about E.L. Lewis. I'm gonna put that in good but not great. It was way too long for what it was, and I just wanted it to be over after a while. I feel like it took me forever to read. It was just way too long. Didn't need to be that long. Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. This is the last book in the Hunger Games trilogy. This is probably my least favorite in the trilogy, but it's still going up here. Where's the other one? I want to put them next to each other. There it is. Catching Fire. Followed by Mercedes Ron. I finished it, but I wish I hadn't. I did not like this book at all. There was so much back and forth. It was so annoying. I didn't like the hero. I didn't like the FMC. She was really whiny and entitled and bratty, and I couldn't stand her. It was just bad. To me. If you enjoyed it, happy for you. I didn't like it. I just watched the movie, and I didn't like that either. That car scene, what even was that? Anyway, moving on. My two lanes. This book, sob. Made me sob. Sob uncontrollably because this is a nonfiction work about a man and his wife who developed Alzheimer's and how he was a caregiver for her. It was really sad, really heartbreaking. This is why I can't read nonfiction things. It just puts me in a depressive mood. It was really sad, really well written though. So if you want a sad book, if you want to read nonfiction, highly would recommend that. Never Have I Ever by Sarah Shepard. I'm gonna put this in. Oh, not there. I'm gonna put it in. I loved it. I don't even know why I love this series so much. It's part of the Lion Game series. It's the second book in the series. This book is so weirdly good. Like, I don't even know what it is about it, but it's so, like, fast-paced. Not even fast-paced, because it's, like, one mystery dragged into 6 books, so it's not really fast-paced. But it's just, the writing is, like, really easy to read. I get through them really fast. I'm, like, actually really into the mystery part. I don't even know what I can't pinpoint what exactly it is about these books, but they're, like, crack. And put the Lion Game here too, because I would put it in the same spot. They're both super fast, quick, easy reads, and I'm eating them up. November 9th. Ooh, I know Colleen Hoover is getting a lot of hate, especially this year, but I'm not even gonna lie, I loved November 9th. I devoured it. I loved the concept. I thought it was really unique and really fast-paced, and I ate it up. I'm not even gonna lie. Once Upon a Broken Heart, another one. Loved it. I loved it so much. I loved this book. This was such a fun time. I love Frenemies Lovers. I love the banter. I love something about Frenemies Lovers just hits every time. Like, because it's Enemies Lovers and Friends Lovers, and I love both those and put them together, and you just get a masterpiece like this. It was so good. I also love the deaf representation in this. Amazing. Incredible. Highly recommend. Other People We Married. I love this book. It has such a bad rating on Goodreads, but I really enjoyed it because I don't even know. I don't know why people don't like it. I feel maybe I was like digging too deep into these books because it's a collection of short stories. I don't know. Maybe I was like analyzing the short stories too deeply and I thought they were deeper than they were. I'm not sure, but I really enjoyed it and I had a good time like analyzing these short stories. Our Violin Ends by Chloe Gong. Let's talk about these Violent Delights first, because this part of the same duology and this one comes first. These Violent Delights I would put in, where would I put it? Good but not great, maybe? Okay, yeah, I'll put it in good but not great. because the writing was really hard to read. It's not that high. I just keep rereading things because I didn't get it the first time around, and that was really annoying to me that I had to keep rereading the same sentences because I didn't understand what she was trying to say. It got really old really fast. But then this book, and the writing was a little better in my opinion. I loved this one. I thought it was great. I loved the romance. I mean, the romance was good in both of them, I guess, but this one, the writing just really put me off. This one, incredible. Loved it. And the plot, the concept is really cool. It's like rival mafia families in Shanghai, in 1920s Shanghai, and there's like also a sea monster that can control insects and make the insects like burrow into your brain and make people kill themselves. Like, it was a really cool concept. East. Okay, this one I'm gonna put in Sob. Yeah, I love this book. This was so good. It could also be here, but I'm gonna put it in Sob because it did make me cry. This book was so good, really thought-provoking, and it's not like my usual Elsie Silver. I'm gonna put this in. I loved it, but I wouldn't give up my life for it. It's definitely one of the better ones in the Chestnut Spring series for me. I ate up the Friends Lovers. I loved this one. Was so playful, like Jasper and Sloan. They were so playful with each other at first, and their little games together, and I just like their friendship a lot. And also, the Runaway Bride trope eats, especially when the hero gives her a piggyback ride out of the wedding. That ate. That was so fun, so cute. I love it. Princess of Souls. I really like this one. I'm gonna put it in good but not great because I kept comparing it to To Kill a Kingdom, which is another book by this author, and that one definitely better, but I still really like this one. And then we have Reckless by Elsie Silver. I'm gonna put this in good but not great. There was some good quote again. It just was veering towards objectifying territory, like with the other one, Heartless. A lot of talking about each other's bodies. I don't know. Restore Me. I don't know if this is the 4th or 5th in the Shadow Me series, but it doesn't matter because they both go in the same place. Good, but not great. They're just kind of there. And after Ignite Me, I was expecting a lot, and they didn't live up to this at all. But still good. I didn't dislike them. Reveal Me. I'm pretty sure this is Kenji's novella, and I did not like it. Kenji was like a different person in this. He was really rude, really irritable. Not a fan of his behavior. I didn't like how he talked to Nazira, who's his love interest. It was just not what I wanted out of Kenji's novella. He's such a fun character, and I wanted his book to be just as fun, and it wasn't at all. Ricochet, oh my gosh. Love it. I love Lily. I loved watching her recovery, and I just love her so much, and I love that book. And I love the Connor Rose breadcrumbs we got in that. We got some of the best breadcrumbs of them in that book. Room by Emma oh my goodness. Room by Emma Donahue. I love this book. This is very unlike the other books on this list. It's not a romance. It's about this woman who gets kidnapped, and she's being held captive in this room, and she gets raped, and she ends up having a child, and then she's raising her child in this one room, and they're not allowed to leave. And it's a really well written, really thought-provoking, incredible story, really addicting. I loved it so much, and I really loved the FMC. I got very attached to her character. It's also very unique because it's told from the perspective of her 5-year-old son, so it's interesting. It's really interesting, really incredible story. And then we have Ruin and Rising. Oh, I know where this one is gonna go. This is the 3rd book in the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I would choose this book over my life. This book was so perfect. The perfect conclusion. And this is such an underrated book. It's incredible. I don't know why this doesn't get more love, because the found family in this book, incredible. The banter, the character dynamics, it was all just so perfect. I love the FMC. I love the side characters. I love the villain. Like, everything about this book was just perfect. I'm so glad I read this trilogy, and so glad I finished it. I would highly recommend. I don't know why this series doesn't get more love. Like, I feel like it's popular. A lot of people have read it, but most people don't like it, and I don't understand why. I thought it was incredible. I loved it, especially the third book. Incredible. Amazing. Ruthless Rival. I loved this, but I wouldn't give up my life for it. It was a 5-star though. I really enjoyed it. I like the banter. I like the characters. I like the second chance. I like the friends, to enemies, lovers, that storyline or trope. It always gets me. It was great. Secretly Yours. I'm gonna put this in good but not great. It didn't stand out. It doesn't stand out to me, but it was a fun time, I would say. Shadow and Bone. Loved it. I love this whole trilogy. It wasn't as good as the third book, but it was a great introduction to the series. I fell in love with Leigh Bardugo in this book. The Shadow and Bone trilogy. And it's going in, I loved it because any book that introduces us to Nikolai, it's gonna go here. Incredible. I love the banter. I love Nikolai. One of my favorite male characters ever. He's so fun and I love him. Okay, Sinners. Condemned. Or is that Sinners Consumed? I have to zoom in. Yeah, Sinners Condemned. Okay, I'm gonna put that in loved. But would not give up my life for it. It was good. The banter was good. It was a fun time. But not here. But then Sinners Consumed. Sinners Consumed is gonna go up here. Incredible. The banter, again, incredible. I love the smut. It was the relationship development. It was just so perfect. I ate it up. Rose, another one I love. Leigh Bardugo can do no wrong in my eyes. I'm obsessed with her writing. I'm obsessed with the characters she makes. I'm upset by you by Julie James. I'm gonna put this in good but not great because he did veer on too possessive sometimes. I still had fun with it though, especially at the second half. Like the beginning was a little hard to get into, but once it got going, it was a lot of fun. I love the banter. Great. Summer Hates Christmas. I'm gonna put this and I finished it, but I wish I hadn't because time with another holiday book. I really want something cheery, and this one was not what I was expecting at all. It deals with a lot of heavier topics than I was expecting, and the romance was not as wholesome and sweet as I was thinking it was going to be. And then we have Survive the Night by Riley Sager. This one I'm going to put in good but not great because some of the decisions that FMC makes do not make sense, but it was still good. I like the cliffhanger chapter endings. It was exciting. Sorry, I just went up and down, but I want to see what I had up here. Okay, then we have the Alice 6. This one honestly put me to sleep. It was really boring. Like the first chapter, incredible. It was serving. I thought it was gonna be a 5-star based off the one chapter. It was so good. It was serving academic rivals lovers. But then after that, it was just kind of boring. I love Libby and Nico, and I'm gonna continue this series just because I want to know if they get together. I was moving at a snail's pace. I was getting really bored, but I like the characters and I like the character dynamics, and I feel like it has a lot of potential. But it definitely wasn't a fave. I feel like it needs to move a little quicker to keep me engaged. Zodiac Academy, I finished it, but I wish I hadn't. I don't even know what this was. There was so much sexual harassment in this book. It was actually crazy. And the heroes, this was a bully romance, but it was like 1% romance and 99% bullying. And I'm not a fan of that. I wanted more romance, less cruelty, and less sexual harassment. Oh my goodness. The way almost every single hero sexually harassed these girls. Like, it was disgusting. I really did not enjoy myself. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, this was good but not great. It's definitely not as good as the Hunger Games books, but it was still good, and I thought it was interesting like how his character evolved into a villain. The Bookish Life of Nina Hill, this put me to sleep. It was so boring. I feel like nothing happened. The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. I'm gonna put this and I loved it, but I would not give up my life for it. I honestly really liked this. It was a fun time. I thought it was fun. It was funny. There was not like other girls things going on here, but it was still a good time. Besides that fact. What's yet another, I loved it, but I wouldn't give up my life for it. This is a gothic fantasy romance, and it was so fun. The plot twist at the end, shocked. I was, again, jaw on the floor. I was shocked. I could not believe it, and the reveal and everything was so good, and the writing was cool. I like the school. It's like very gothic, really cool. I like the whole concept of the book. I like how the witches are like made of bones. Like, it was just really cool. Like the whole concept of this book I thought was awesome. The Coworker by Frida McFadden. I'm gonna put this in. I loved it. I loved the characters. I think this is classified as a psychological thriller, and the characters were so interesting. The plot twist didn't get me though. I was really disappointed with it because I predicted it exactly right. There was like a mini plot twist at the end that I didn't predict, but the big plot twist I guessed completely. So I was disappointed with that, but I still loved it. Like, it was such a fun time getting there and figuring it out. Like, it was just so well written. I loved how the writing is like kind of humorous, but also kind of serious, and it's fast paced. I had a really good time. Even though the plot was disappointing, I still gave it 5 stars because I had such a fun time reading it. The Devil's Own Duke. I did not finish this. The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. This one was so good. I loved it, but I wouldn't give my life for it. This is so close to being here. Like, after their relationship grows and they're like spending more time together, it was such a good time. I loved the banter. I loved the setting, the amusement park setting. It was just such a fun time. But because it took like 100 pages for me to get into it, I can't go here. But it was still really good. I loved it. It's like so close to being up here. Like, it's definitely better than I feel like the other books on the list, or at least most of them. Like, I love this book so much. The Gift by Frida McFadden, I would put in good but not great. It's a short story. It's a short holiday thriller, and it was fun for what it was. I didn't expect too much out of it because it's less than 60 pages. It was a good time, but it's not fantastic. Nothing too wild or shocking. The Girl on the Train. This one I'm gonna put in good not great also because the beginning was really slow, but once it gets going, I really loved it. The Giver. This one, good but not great. Again, not really my thing. And let me find the other books in this series because they're all gonna go in the same spot. It's like they're children's books. That's not really my thing anymore because I'm not a child. But sometimes I just feel like reading children's books just because I'm bored, and they're kind of fun. And it was fun. I did like these books. They were fun, entertaining, made me laugh a little bit. But another one that I loved but would not give up my life for, or should I put this on Sob actually? It did make me cry. Okay, I'm gonna put it here because this deals with some really heavy topics during the second half. Had me crying, but the first half is so adorable. Their first date, or I don't remember if it was their first date or the second or what, but one of their dates, they're like planning to meet up and then she can't go because she gets nervous. So they just end up watching documentaries at their apartments, and they're just like texting each other about the documentary, and it's literally the cutest thing. I love the hero in this. He is such a golden retriever and he's so adorable, and I love him. And this whole book, adorable. I love this book so much. The House Across the Lake. This was good, but not great. I feel like the plot twist was so weird because the last time I lied, this is my second favorite book from Riley Sager. I'm kind of tempted to put it here, but I don't know because one of the plot twists is super predictable. I think I'm gonna put it in good but not great. But I did really enjoy it. I liked the exploration of toxic female friendships, and the final twist at the end was good, and I liked it. And I liked the villain. I thought they were really interesting. But the person who's tormenting Emma, like, that was really predictable in my opinion. But still, oh my goodness. I don't know if I want to put it here or here. I'm gonna leave it here for now. But it is my second favorite Riley Sager book, and I really did enjoy it. The Maidens. I'm gonna put that, and I loved it. This also has a really bad rating on Goodreads, but I loved it. The plot twist, I could not stop thinking about it for days afterward because I was still so shocked with that twist. Like, it was crazy. Didn't expect that at all. Wild. Better than The Party. Yeah, like I said, any Wes and Liz book is gonna go right here. Loved it. The Perfect Marriage. I finished it, but I wish I hadn't because the plot twist at the end makes absolutely no sense at all. If you really think about it, I can't say without spoiling, but okay, you know what? Just skip like 20 seconds if you don't want to hear the plot twist because I just have to get this off my chest. I've been thinking about this and I just need to get it off my chest. So I'm gonna spoil it in 3, 2, 1. How does it make sense that she's the one who framed him when we were literally in her thoughts? Like, we were in her point of view, and she would think to herself, like, did he do this? Is he capable of this? Like, why would she think those things? Why would she think, could he have done this? If she knew herself that she had done it the whole time, like, that makes no sense. Okay, next book. The Rebound by Winter Renshaw. I finished it, but I wish I hadn't. This was fun. The child years were really, really fun. I thought they were really cute, but then the adult years, I did not like their relationship. I feel like he was just using her for her body. And I was not a fan. The Right Move. Oh my goodness. Don't even get me started on Ryan Shea and Indy. I'm obsessed with them. I'm obsessed with their book. I value them more than my own life. They are everything to me. This list right here makes me so happy. I love all these books with my whole entire heart and soul. They're everything to me. The Rosie Project. I DNF'd this one. Under normal circumstances, I definitely could have read through this whole thing, but I was entering a reading slump during this time, and this book was not going to get me out of it, and I could tell. I made it like a little more than halfway, I think, and it was pretty slow, and I wasn't in love with it, and I could feel myself getting further into the slump, so I DNF'd. Under normal circumstances, though, I definitely would have read through this whole thing. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't for me at that moment in time. The Savage Wild, I finished it, but I wish I hadn't because I did not want to see these people end up together. The hero was absolutely terrible, and even at the end, like, he had no character development. He was a terrible person through and through, start to finish. Didn't like him at all. One of the worst heroes ever. That book pissed me off so much. The Secret History put me to sleep, honestly. I'm sorry. I know so many people love this book. I just feel like it was so slow, and some of the things were like so wild, and we barely spent any time on them. We spent more time on the mundane stuff that I didn't care about. Like, it was so slow, and it was driving me crazy. Like, I just wanted to move on to the important parts of the plot. It was really annoying me, and I know I'm probably missing the deeper message or whatever. I don't care though. I'm so over this book. I don't want to think about it anymore. I'm over it. Seven Husbands. I love this book. This is my favorite Taylor Jenkins Reid book. Oh wait, I should put it in top. Actually, I'm gonna put it right here. All the TJR books I've read, all of them made me sob my eyes out. Why are all her books so sad? My goodness. And they're always so touching. Like, I remember her books for a long time afterwards. Incredible. So well written, so impactful. Especially The Seven Husbands. This one's my favorite of hers. For sure, I love Evelyn. One thing about Taylor Jenkins Reid is she writes the best female main characters. Like, I loved Camila in Daisy Jones. I loved Nina in this one, and I love Evelyn. Like, they all love my ladies. The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. I'm gonna put this in good but not great. I guess it was an okay introduction. This one didn't piss me off like the second one did as much. I thought it was cute, but it probably under my age range, not really my thing anymore. A little too young for me. The Sweetest Oblivion, so hot. I loved it. I literally earlier today I was thinking about how Nico would constantly like wrap his fist around her hair. I was thinking about them in the bathroom also. I thought about them multiple times today now that I'm thinking about it. I'm obsessed. I love them. The Watsons Go to Birmingham. Oh, this also goes into, I loved it, but I would have given my life for it. This is my favorite classic. It's so funny. I love Byron and Kenny and then like the brotherly relationship and how they both grow. Such a good book. It deserves all the rewards it has. The Way I Am Now and The Way I Used to Be. I'll start with The Way I Used to Be because that's the first one. This one goes all the way to the top. I love this book so much. It was so addicting. I couldn't stop thinking about it when I was reading it, and even now I still think about it regularly. So impactful, so well written, hooked me start to finish. Like, it really started now. I like this one too, but I wasn't as obsessed with it as this one. Maybe because this one was the first I was more into it. This one was also really good though. I loved it, but I wouldn't give up my life for it. This one, obsessed. The Wedding Date, I liked this one, but it wasn't fantastic. Like, so towards the end, there were some things that I was like not pleased by, but I had a good time with it overall, and I thought it was a good book. The Woman in Cabin 10. This is another one, good but not great. I guessed the plot twist completely, but the writing was good, and I liked that they were all stuck on a ship together. I feel like it heightened the stakes, more suspense, because there's no escape. Then Last Man, I love this one. This is going into I loved it, but I wouldn't give up my life for it. I thought the relationship was so healthy. I like how they communicate with each other. Awesome. Great book. Also, the cover is so cute. Okay, let's start with the first one. Things We Never Got Over. I would put this one in good, but not great. I had a good time with it, but some of the things that happened were so juvenile and immature, and I was like, there's no way this man is 40 years old. And the next book in the series is about Knox's brother, Nash. Things We Had from the Light. Unpopular opinion, but I actually like this one more than Things We Never Got Over. I love this one. Depression, anxiety representation in this book, and it was just such a fun time. I loved the action in this book. I feel like it made more sense in this book. Like, the criminal stuff seems so random and out of place, but these two, because they're both like in law enforcement and with her career too, it just made more sense with the plot. Also, this cover is my favorite out of 3. It's so cute. I love pink. Things We Left Behind, I'm also putting in good but not great. I was left a little disappointed with this one. And this one I was anticipating this one so much. I expected so much, and I was left a little disappointed. I wanted more communication, I guess. Also, some things that some of his actions in this book did not make sense to me. Then we have 3 Swedish Mountain Men. This one I would put in. I loved it. Yeah, I did. I had a really good time with this. It was fun. Light, quick, easy read. I had a really good time. This section is so big. As you can see, I had a great reading year. Like, compared to the things I didn't like. And look at all these. Yeah, so it was a great reading year for me. Thrive. Yet another great one. I'm putting this in. I loved it. I love this book. I love this couple. Throttled, I would put it in good but not great. There were some really cringy moments, but it was a good time. I did like it. Twisted Love. This is the reason why I made this tier, because I could not take Alex seriously after he said, "Welcome to the Lion's Den" or something. He said something along the lines of a lion's den in reference to having sex with him. I could not take him seriously after that. Like, I could not believe he said that. I was reading the book while I was walking down the stairs, and I just started laughing to myself. Don't ask me why I was reading while walking down the stairs. I don't know what was up with me. I don't usually do that, but I was just in a reading mood, and I took it downstairs. Anyway, while he said that, and a lot of things he said, I was just like, there's no way he said this, and I was just like giggling to myself because it was so ridiculous. Yeah, laughing at him, not with him. I'm sorry. We'll Always Have Summer. I think this last book in the Summer Return Party series. I don't know. If it's not, oops. This one I actually loved. I loved the drama. The drama I ate up in this book. The other 2 books I did not enjoy nearly as much. Then we have Well Met. This one was good but not great. I had a really good time. Renaissance Fair setting. I thought that was really fun. It just, I don't know, nothing about the romance really stood out as crazy, fantastic, amazing. You know? Wes and Liz's College Road Trip. This is my favorite of the short stories. Loved it so much. I wouldn't give up my life for it. I almost would, because this book is everything to me. It's literally the cutest story ever. My favorite short story in the whole wide world. Big heart. That was terrible. Hold on. I love this book. It's amazing. Oh, another short story. Loved it. And then we have Where the Crawdads Sing. I could sob just looking at the cover of this book. This book was so sad for no reason. Delia Owens did not have to do me like that. While the black kids sit together in the cafeteria, this one was really well written. This is nonfiction. Talks about racism and the school system, like pedagogy and stuff like that. I really liked it. It was really educational, really well written, really easy to read. It was really good. Wicked is the Reaper. I would put that in. I loved it. Honestly, I had a really good time with it. It was pretty short, and I feel like in the little amount of pages, Nisha J. Tully managed to do a lot, and I really enjoyed it. Wildfire, another one I loved. I love Russ. I love Aurora. I love how sweet Russ is. He's like a golden retriever boy. Such a softie, such a sweetheart. I adored him. And he likes to read, so he gets extra points for that. And I also like the camp setting. I thought that was really fun, really cute. Will Grayson, another one that is going in this year. I loved it. I thought this book was really fun. I had a good time. Winning the Cowboy. I'm gonna put this in good but not great, because sometimes the characters were acting way too immature for their age. Also, this cover is a little misleading. It's not as erotic as it looks, but it was a fun time. Then we have Wrecked by Lauren Asher. Also, sorry for sniffling so much. Like I said, I'm sick, but I know that's really annoying. I don't know where to put this. Good but not great. I didn't love this one. It's probably my least favorite Lauren Asher book that I've read, but it wasn't terrible. Yellowface. I finished it, but I wish I hadn't, because the ending, like, what was that? It was so ridiculous and over the top, and I couldn't take it seriously. And I know people are saying, like, it wasn't meant to be taken too seriously. It was supposed to be, like, dark humor, sort of funny, but I wasn't laughing. Like, I was just, like, kind of annoyed, because I felt like I was wasting my time, and I wasn't having a good time with it at all. You Deserve Each Other. This is another short story. This is from, what's it called? You Deserve Each Other, which, if You Deserve Each Other was on this list, it would be right here. That book owns me, heart and soul. I love that book, and this short story, incredible. So fun, so cute, so amazing. You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty. I don't know. I feel like I would put this in Put Me to Sleep, because there was so much art stuff that really bored me and I didn't care. And I didn't really enjoy myself while reading it, so I can't put it any higher than that. You're a Mean One, Matthew Prince. I would put that in good but not great. Doesn't stand out as a holiday romance, but it was a fun time. I did enjoy it. Made me chuckle a few times. It was good. And then Shadow Me. I'm remembering now. I just had to, because they all have the same covers, same titles, and I just get confused with which book is which. But this one was good, not great. Doesn't stand out. Wasn't here, but it was good, and I enjoyed it. So that's the list, the final list. How many books would I die for? 6 books this year that I would die for, that I would kill for. My favorites ever. I love them, but I wouldn't give up my life for them. I had such a good reading month or year. Like, looking at this, it's really making me realize how many great books I read this year compared to like this is nothing. I feel like this is such a little amount of books I disliked. So I'm really happy. I had a great year. Evidently. Oh, also I have this tier was useless. Forgettable, I guess. I thought I'd have something here because I read so many books this year that some of them I thought I would have forgotten. But I guess not. Like, as I was looking at all these, like, I remembered all of them. I remember the plots and the characters and stuff. None of them were really forgettable, but then again, I did read them only this year. So it hasn't been that long. If you ask me again in 2 years, some of them would definitely move down here. I think it also helps that I take notes on the books I read, because I write book reviews. So then, and obviously, if you're writing stuff down, you have an easier time remembering it. I think that also has to do with it. So I'm just gonna delete this row. Okay, there we go. The final one. Also, this book, I just think it's so cool.